ERIC is an education database sponsored by the United States Department of Education. ERIC stands for Educational Resources Information Center and provides extensive access to educational-related literature. ERIC provides coverage of journal articles, conferences, meetings, government documents, theses, dissertations, reports, audiovisual media, bibliographies, directories, books, and monographs. It's updated monthly. In this tutorial, we're going to be talking about how to do a search specific to public health in ERIC. To get to ERIC, you'll want to start by going to eResources and then Databases. From Databases, select E for ERIC and scroll down until you see it in the list. You'll be asked to log in with your Kerberos username and password. To do a specific search on public health in ERIC, you'll always want to begin by limiting your search to articles about or related to public health. Today, I'm going to demonstrate a search to find resources related to curriculum and public health. Much like other databases, such as PubMed, there is a controlled vocabulary in ERIC. The controlled vocabulary, which is the same concept as mesh terms in PubMed, allow us to search a concept rather than an exact phrase. Searching an exact phrase would be more of a natural language or Google-style search. To get to the controlled vocabulary in ERIC, you'll want to start by going to the advanced search. All of these preferred terms, the controlled vocabulary terms, are stored in what's known as the thesaurus in ERIC. Once you click on it to open it up, you'll be able to search terms here. The thesaurus is where we'll want to start our search. We're going to go ahead and put each of our different search terms in this search box here to go ahead and find the terms within the ERIC thesaurus. In the case of this search for public health specific curriculum resources, the database that we're working with is not a public health or biomedical database, but rather an education database. So we want to be as broad as possible so that we can capture all possible articles related to both of our terms. I'm going to start by searching for curriculum. When I do this search, you'll see first that the subject terms that come back are not listed in relevance order. Instead, they're listed in alphabetical order. So the first term that comes back is academic curriculum, while our preferred term for curriculum here is located in the center. I'm going to go ahead and click on curriculum to open up the term. Here I can see a little bit of information about the term, most specifically some narrower terms. Narrower terms are all going to be included in our search if we were to choose the explode box here. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and select the explode box. While some of these terms aren't particularly relevant, such as elementary school curriculum, other topics may be relevant, such as college curriculum, maybe courses, core curriculum, area studies. I'm not sure. And since I want to make each of these searches for both curriculum and public health as broad as I can, I'm going to go ahead and check the explode box here, and then click on Add to Search. When we add in our search term for public health, we're automatically going to be narrowing our search results down significantly, which means that we'll probably eliminate any of the irrelevant articles that would have been brought back from those narrower terms, such as elementary education or elementary curriculum. I'm going to go ahead and go directly back to the thesaurus here and add in our term for public health. Just as before, I'm going to do a search for public health in the search box and click Find. I can see my term for public health right at the top, and so what I'm going to do is choose Explode again. As I mentioned before, we want to make each term as broad as possible because we are going to narrow them down significantly when we combine them together. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and click on Explode. I'm going to change this to Combine Using and say And, because we'd like to combine our previous term for curriculum with our term for public health together, not separately. And I'll go ahead and click on Add to Search. Here we can see that we are searching now for our subject exploded for curriculum, and then our also subject exploded for public health. They're combined together with an and, so we're going to search both topics together, and then I can click on search. This search brings me back 308 results, but unfortunately a lot of these results are not going to deal with public health specific curricula. Instead, they may be about how to implement public health practices into school curricula. This will be a common problem in ERIC because there isn't going to be a term that distinguishes between the concept of public health in general from the concept of public health as a subject of higher education. There are, however, some things that we can do to narrow this search down further from these 308 results. I'm going to start by scrolling down, and I'm going to open up one of these articles here in the list. Perhaps we'll start by looking at building public health capacity through online global learning. Once you've found an article that you like, you can always scroll down within the main page here to look in the details at the other sorts of terms that are attached to this. So in this case, we see public health global approach, online courses, training methods, educational change, change strategies, models, electronic learning, etc. What we could do is use any of these other terms to add into our search to narrow our search down even more specifically. So perhaps looking at training methods would be a good way to see about training within public health, within the curricula. And you can always use this for inspiration for other ideas as to what you can search. I'm going to go ahead and go back out to our search page by just clicking on the back button here. There are a few filters on the side here that I can also use to narrow my search results down. One of the things that I can do here is limit by publication date. It might be easiest to limit here to maybe the last 10 years instead of the full 1915 to 2018 decade. You can also enter a date range by clicking the link here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Update. And when I do that, it limits our results down to just 90 results out of the original 308. There are more filters here on the side that might be useful for you. In terms of narrowing our topic down so that we are looking more at public health as a subject of higher education, what we can do is look at these two filters here, specifically for education level and target audience. As we talked about before, public health and that narrower term for education for elementary school curricula is probably not going to be too many results that come back in that specific area. However, if we wanted to be sure that we were pulling back articles about the correct education level, we could use this filter here. By clicking on it, I can open it up, and then I can limit this here to just higher education. And you can see here that elementary secondary education does have 6 articles attached to it. So when I limit down to higher education, I know I'm going to be limiting to just 57 articles. And so once I click on that, I can do that, and we see 57 results that come back. The last filter that I want to point out here, if I scroll down to the bottom, the one directly underneath education level is called target audience. And this is particularly important because it can help narrow your search down to who should be reading this article. And in this case, not all 57 articles, as you can see, have a target audience attached. In this case, of those 57 articles, there are 3 that are geared specifically towards teachers and 1 that's geared specifically towards a student. In this case, if we select teachers, we'll be narrowing our results down significantly, but we might find 3 very good articles. So that's something to keep in mind as well. In general, there isn't one perfect search, so be sure to try multiple searches on your topic in order to do a thorough overall search of the literature. For example, if you're not finding what you need with a search for public health as a subject term, you could always try synonyms or broader terms such as health education from the thesaurus in ERIC. Librarians are also always happy to schedule appointments to provide research assistance to faculty and staff on whatever your topic may be, so please feel free to reach out. Thank you for watching this tutorial. For more information or any questions, please visit us at the library Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or reach out at the contact information listed here.